How's that water, Scott? It's treating you good?
It's very wet, man. Some good shit.
It's wet. With the water's wet.
The water is wet.
All right. I'm Rusty.
I am Scott, and I was, much as I said I was ready to go, and I ain't got my fucking funny nickname that I give myself ready to go. I don't know. So there's no fucking
You
funny
don't have
nicknames.
anything prepared for today. Not even a previously on.
Not a previously on. Not a nickname. Nothing, man.
So that's 2 episodes in a row without a previously on.
And last week you mentioned that I bring so little to the table as it is. Now I'm bringing less.
Yeah. You don't even have like our logo up on the big screen.
Yo, that's a technical fucking difficulty, man. You know my shit's all fucking hand-me-down tech, man.
It's all hand-me-down tech. It's all excuses.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was supposed to do the previously on. It's hand-me-down tech.
I didn't
the
remember.
auxiliary cord doesn't work properly.
That's
Scott, do you need $3 for an auxiliary cord?
No, I think I probably have another one. I'll check.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you brought the one that doesn't work.
This is the one we've been using, man. It's starting to fail. The conditions down here aren't conducive to electronics, man.
Oh, so I'm glad we moved our whole studio down here then.
Nah, well, you take your computer home every night, so it's a small exposure, but this just sits here.
Yeah.
The only time they get air in here is when we do tours, man. Like when people come,
You know what we
take the
didn't
5
do?
cent tour. What?
We didn't fucking do like a pre-production meeting about things that we wanted to talk about. Are there things that you want to talk about, Scott?
No.
No, really, are there?
No, I had a busy weekend, man. Can we talk about that for a second?
Sure.
So, one of the volunteer
I mean,
organizations I work for.
we could talk about it
man?
only if, like, is there going to be anything interesting, like funny anecdotes in there, or are you just going to ramble on about some bullshit chores that you got accomplished?
Yeah, so
Before you talk,
I was going to say, so is there anything you want to talk about?
Like, I know you want to talk about your weekend. Like, is it something we need to talk about
like-
off the
like-
air,
like-
or is it like?
I feel like there were funny anecdotes in there, but now I'm drawing a blank. Now that you put me on the spot.
Well, what'd you do? Let's start breaking it
Nah,
down.
man, let's not even
No.
bother,
Let's
man.
break it down.
We had a fundraiser. It was a radio bingo kind of thing.
Okay.
And
you invited me to that.
I did invite you to that, man.
I mean, $30 for 3 people for no food, no drinks.
It was $30
per person.
Per person. So
Yes,
it was like,
right.
well, you said $30 for 3 people. That sounds like it's only $10.
Well, I meant like $30
Yeah, we
times
clarified
3,
it. Yeah, we
$90 is
clarified
like it's
apparently there was an open bar, so you're not much of a drinker, so like you weren't going to benefit much there. But there was no food. It was a fundraiser for our local branch of the Kiwanis Club, and anyone who doesn't know radio bingo, it's like regular bingo, except DJ plays. He mixes up tracks, people are dancing, and
what kind of tracks are they playing? Like 80s, 90s, new.
The first round was it was like a lot of classic like
disco.
Like no, not disco.
Turn
Like that was the second. The second round was
around.
dance, disco.
Love to feel percussion.
He said the 4 Ds. It was dance, disco, and I don't remember what the other 2 were.
Dub. Dubstep.
D's nuts. I don't know. It was more modern, like dancey music. But the first round was like
Trap.
It was like 50s, like
50s?
50s, 60s. It was around the gamut from like the 50s to like
Rockin' Robin.
rock and roll.
Tweet.
Yeah, of
Rockin'
course.
Robin.
No, he'd be like,
Tweet.
but it's a mix. It was only like 45 seconds, so it was fun. So it was very successful. The 50-50 paid out over $1,500.
No.
So it was a very.
And who won that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. You thought I was going to know who it was, so you could scream "fix," right? Like the fix was in
So you had a what is it again?
radio bingo
A radio bingo And
fundraiser. I mean, we did
so
well.
they would play like songs or something, and you had to look at your bingo card and like cross them off.
Yeah.
Or whatever you do in bingo. Not cross them off. You do like the stamp thing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
We gave everybody crayons because that was like the mentality of the
And that
crowd.
was fun?
It was a lot of fun, actually, man.
Okay. And then you stayed afterwards?
Yeah, I had to stay like 2 hours afterwards to clean up.
You had to stay 2 hours afterwards.
Well, that
Because
was
it
part-
sounds like you partied afterwards too.
Oh
Sounds
no,
like there was a whole after
listen.
party.
The squad, started partying once everybody left. And,
Yeah.
so it was 2 hours of edibles and
so
alcohol.
you were responsible while there were like guests
Oh,
there.
absolutely,
Yes.
sure, of course, man.
Because you're the
So,
president.
And all the local
Are you the
businesses,
president yet?
Incoming, so I'm not
You're
yet.
incoming?
Yeah. So
You mean the president-elect?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So in these volunteer organizations, you don't really get nominated and like run on any kind of platform.
I know.
Basically, it's
Someone gets sick of doing the job, and they're like, "You want to be president?"
And
you don't know like everything that's involved yet. So like, yeah, sure, I'll be president.
No. Then you say no,
Uh-huh.
and when it comes to like to put the official name in, whoever's in the bathroom at the time that they do it, let's put him on the fucking thing.
Right.
And that's kind of how like I felt.
And
into
you were
it.
in the bathroom.
So I didn't earn any of this shit. It was kind of just like
brushing his teeth as per usual in the bathroom. Hold up, I got to brush my teeth.
Okay, so Rusty makes fun of me that before. And by the way, I didn't brush my teeth before this.
Oh.
But I wanted
Your
to,
mouth
but I got
isn't
distracted.
fresh and minty?
I like to come down with a freshly brushed mouth.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, but you're making fun of it like it's silly. Yo, my art is my mouth.
I
my
hear you.
mouth needs to be fresh.
You know what? I
man.
never really thought of it like that.
Yeah.
You're right. See, my art is my brain. But sure, your mouth.
And you don't have a clean brain, man, and it shows, man. If you could
don't
brush
have
your
a clean
brain.
Oh, if I could brush my brain, there would be a lot of shit that would be brushed out of it.
Yo, man, I ain't got the best teeth in the world, man. So an extra brushing it once a week, it wouldn't fucking hurt me, man.
All right, so you had this radio bingo event.
Yeah, that's it. That's not.
All right, so that's one thing down. What
fun.
else? You said you had a very busy weekend.
Then I had a freaking another club I'm part of. We had a party last night.
You had a party last
Yeah,
night.
so that was fucking.
What kind
that
of
was pretty
party did
lit.
you have?
You know, they had a band drinking. It was just like a band drinking,
At
raise
home?
money for the club. No, it was at the club.
At the club. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had a club.
Yeah.
So you're going to say club, but you're not going to say what kind of club. The audience
well,
doesn't
you know what?
deserve to know
Well,
any of
it's
these
a-
things.
it's a yacht
because
club.
it's so like
No,
it's
no,
such a secret.
No, it's not that it's a secret, but it's a yacht club.
Okay.
And now also, Scott's a bougie bitch, man. He's in a yacht club. And let me tell you, it's not a fucking what you think it is. It's a fucking little house on the water that was bought by like 40 white dudes 57 years ago, 87 years ago. And it's been an ongoing thing. And like, there's 40 members of the club, and like 4 have boats. And none of them are yachts. They're just like, Jamaica Bay boats.
Right.
So I was just going to say club.
When
So
you're
yes,
at the
it's
yacht club, but you're like, it's easy to grin when your ship comes in
Are you looking up sea shanties over there?
and you've got the stock market beat. But a man worthwhile is a man who can smile when his pants are too tight in the seat. You don't know what that's from?
I do not.
That's from Caddyshack, bro. That's Judge Snells or Snails.
It sounds like something Bill Murray would be singing.
Right. It's not. It's something that Judge Snail said.
Okay.
Ted Knight.
Oh,
The great Ted Knight.
The great Ted Knight.
The great Ted
Isn't
Knight.
he the dude that wrote the comic book in that show with like the cow puppet?
That's right. Too Close for Comfort.
Too close for comfort. Schneider, right? Schneider
You
was
know,
the
I just
fucking-
looked that show up like 2 days ago. Like,
Wow,
I
that's-
literally just looked that show up.
That's fucking crazy, man. I was talking to somebody at the club. He's a Ed Norton type. He's like a sewage engineer. He works in the local sewage treatment plant.
Yeah.
So he was going to, I was like, yo, so what do you do there, man? Do you get your hands dirty? So we just had a little conversation. He dropped some fucking cool shit about how the sewage plant works. And then just before you came over, I threw on fucking some show, and it was like the history of the sanitation department in New York City from like the 1600s to now.
So weird.
And they were fucking, it was like, it's kind of like what you're saying, man. Like,
We
too
live.
close for
Do you
comfort,
understand we
man.
live in a simulation?
No, I understand you say that.
100% we live in a simulation.
What if we're not all in a simulation?
100%.
What if you're in a simulation?
Yeah.
Like, you're you. You're really you, but we're all the simulation. We're like a holodeck kind of thing.
So I'm me, but everything else is a simulation.
What
So,
if-
so it's like Riker in that episode where he's like in the mental asylum.
we don't talk about that episode. That shit was awful. That was during a writer's strike, by the way.
I love that episode.
Really? It was like
I
was
love
season
that
1 or 2?
episode. I don't know. No, that
was a-
wasn't in season 1 or 2.
It was a clip show, right? Like, it was like clips of previous episodes?
Nah, bro, you're
Oh, maybe I'm
thinking
thinking
of
of
the
a different one.
wrong episode.
Okay.
Riker was placed into like a mental asylum, and they kept trying to like have him like reveal the codes to prove that he wasn't crazy anymore, and it turned out to be like some Romulan. Like,
Oh, but then it ended up not being a Romulan. It was like some weird alien
It
that was
was-
looking for a companionship.
that may have been something else.
That was a good fucking episode, man. Unless I'm conflating a whole bunch of shit, man.
Scott, I think that you need to get your head right because right now you are
good.
not like in a frame of mind.
I'm good. Dude, Frame of Mind is the episode that I told you was done during the writer's strike, and it was a clip show. And you're like, no, that's not the episode. That was the name of that episode. Isn't that creepy? You understand we're in a simulation, right? And these are glitches. This is poor writing by whoever developed the simulation.
So you're saying all of your faults and all the mistakes you make and all like everything, that's not your fault. That's just like a product of bad programming.
Yes, and I can almost say it's not my fault because I'm not really here, man. Yo, what if you're a brain in a jar? Just you, and this is all to entertain you. Because you're waiting out like a nuclear winter or something.
What if?
Yeah. You're going to wake up at the assigned time, 400 years after the disaster.
So I've imagined everything. I've imagined, like, this podcast isn't really taking place. It's all in my brain.
Well, because you're hooked up to computers. They're feeding you like an environment to live in. So.
Right.
Yeah. It's cool, man.
It's super cool. Wait, it's cool if that's the reality?
Yes. It's cool.
That my brain, like, is in a jar waiting out like a nuclear holocaust?
Listen, man, probably your entire...
That doesn't sound too cool.
Your entire body is there, too, man, because when you wake up, you got to walk around, man. You got to go do
My
shit.
body would not have atrophied in that time.
Oh, well, listen, we've come a long way.
Am I
with
the
slowing
only
it.
survivor? So wait a second.
Nah,
who built like an entire like thing to keep me alive?
All right, no.
Like why would it be me? What am I going to contribute?
There's a group of you.
It's a group of me?
No.
Oh, I don't want to be around the group of me.
Oh, God, can you imagine multiple?
No.
Wouldn't you hate everybody around
I would
you?
choke everyone. Or one of me would choke everyone. Only one of me would survive is what I'm saying.
Which means you better be the one to act first. Because you'll be dead. You'll be choked out, man. Choke or get choked, man, when you're around people like you.
Do you think that any other ones of me are also having this same discussion in another, like, imagined podcast in the simulation?
Wait a minute, dude. Since this isn't real, what you see when you look in the mirror, maybe it's not even you. That's just the simulation feeding you that. And maybe I am one of the other yous.
So maybe you're the simulation, but I think I'm the simulation, but you're really the simulation.
And you're another one of me.
And who's the audience? Besides assholes.
Russ, look at the numbers, man. There is no audience.
Word. Speaking of which, my talking point for today is about the classic Georgia accent. Apparently, it's fading. The classic Georgia accent.
Is that the accent you do when you talk about Southerners? Is that that's the Georgian accent?
I mean, I do a pretty fucking, like, what's the term for it? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on the adjective, and you're not helping me either because you're just staring blankly at me.
I just babbled and babbled. You're like, I got something to talk about. Then you threw out something that had nothing behind it.
Well, I have something to talk about.
Let's talk about it,
I just
man.
couldn't think of an adjective.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man.
What's offensive. I do a highly offensive Southern accent. I don't know if it's a classic Georgia accent, but a collaborative study between the University of Georgia. I didn't even know that they had universities down below the Mason-Dixon line. I can only imagine what kind of subjects they must study down there. So in a collaboration, the geniuses at the University of Georgia got together with the geniuses at Georgia Tech.
Wait, is it? This is how it's really written?
No, this is my commentary.
Oh, sorry.
You don't... How it's written is quite, like, bland and vanilla.
Yeah, right.
So they've gotten together, these fucking rocket scientists, and they found that the classic Southern accent is undergoing rapid change in Georgia. The instigator? Generation X.
That would be us.
That's us, bro. We found here in Georgia, We found that here in Georgia, white English speakers' accents have been shifting away from the traditional Southern pronunciation for the last few generations, said Margaret Renwick, associate professor in University of Georgia's Franklin College of Arts and Sciences Department of Linguistics and lead on the study. First of all, she's not even a tenured professor, all right? She's an associate professor, which means her asking to get fired at any fucking minute.
Does that mean she has a teacher training, though? And she's just waiting to get her fucking, make her bones?
Say that again?
Does she still have teacher training? She just hasn't been there long enough to be tenured. Like, she's not just like you said she's an assistant teacher? Does that mean she didn't go through the teaching?
No, I said she's an associate professor.
Associate professor, okay.
Yes.
Okay, same question, though.
So here's the difference, all right? A tenure teacher is a friend of ours. An associate is a friend of mine.
Yeah, great.
You understand?
Yeah, no, I get it.
When you're tenured, you're made. When you're an associate, you're just an associate.
Okay. So your skill level is still the same, and your education's probably the same. You just don't have the seniority yet
Correct.
to be tenured. Okay, cool. Go on.
For whatever reason. Sometimes you're not published, but usually it's because you're a fucking piece of shit, you know?
Whoa.
Listen, I call him like I see him. So anyway, yeah, so the Georgia accent, it might go away, and it's because of our generation. Because people in the South that are our age were like, looked around, and they were like, why the fuck is everyone talking like an asshole around here? We got to put an end to this.
No, dude, you're so wrong.
You don't think so?
No. The migrants are coming in and taking everything, including our accents, man.
That's what it is.
That's all it is, man.
You know what it is? A lot of Northerners are also moving down south.
Yeah.
So that might
to
be
get
it, too.
away from bullshit liberal super city policies.
Yes, I guess. Although in the South, every major city is also quite blue.
Oh, all right.
So it's not really about like, it's cities. We've had this conversation, I feel like. It's cities versus like rural areas.
Of course we had the conversation in our heads because we are each other.
In our simulation. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we had that one lady, I don't know if you remember, she was like a county clerk in Kentucky, and she denied a gay couple like a marriage license, even though it was perfectly like legal for them to get married because it went against her religious beliefs. I don't know what that had to do with like issuing the fucking license. Yeah. So she must pay $100,000 to that same-sex couple for denying them the marriage license. It was just ruled. A federal jury has awarded $100,000 to a Kentucky couple who sued the former county clerk, Kim Davis, over her refusal to issue marriage licenses. So
I'm gonna ask you
score
something
one for them.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you something about it. One, they sued her personally?
Yeah.
And one?
Yeah. Why wouldn't they sue her?
I wouldn't think it would apply because you were
It was a
working on
civil suit.
behalf of a...
She was working on behalf of a government
so the
that
agency
was supposed to issue her or them.
So I would think the agency would get sued, not so much the employee. Don't workers have certain rights where if you're working within the capacity
agency told her to issue the licenses. It's not the agency's fault.
And she refused.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't another agent fucking issue it?
Because I'm pretty sure it's like such a small town. She was like the clerk. Like that was it. Like that was her job.
Okay. All right.
She refused to do the one job that she fucking had.
Okay.
By the way, this is the state that elects Mitch McConnell every 6 years.
That's great.
I don't even know who the fucking other senator from Kentucky is, but I can only imagine what kind of fucking
Who's more
bumpkin
interesting
they are.
than Mitch? Come on, man.
Well, I mean, at this point,
So how does this
drying paint is more interesting.
How is this clerk, who I'm assuming got fired,
Yeah.
small town, how is she going to afford $100,000 to give?
Come on. Because she's probably like the darling of the right.
Oh, you think she's going to do like a GoFundMe?
I think she's probably going to like, no, she's not going to do a GoFundMe, but she's probably going to get paid for like speaking engagements, and like all these right-wing organizations are going to have her like come and speak, or they're going to have her on like podcasts, or she's going to have her own fucking podcast.
Oh, that's smart. Don't be fucking cramming into our podcast space, though. Come on, go somewhere else, man. We're trying to make it here, man. And we're trying to do it the right way by being nice and fucking cool. And she's fucking gonna fucking make it big because she's a fucking bigot.
Right.
Some bullshit.
I hate it.
Maybe we need to get a little more fucking rambunctious around here. We were talking about that, man.
Well, I'm the one that gets rambunctious, and then you tell me to rein it in constantly.
Yeah, I'm a little bitch, man. I talk a good
I wish
game.
you'd make up your mind what you want.
Well, I wish
so
you'd
fickle.
I wish you'd make up your mind so you know what I want.
Oh, because of the simulation. So I'm reading a book now. It's called In
Good for
Search
you.
of Schrodinger's Cat. It's about like quantum physics. And it's like the history of quantum physics and an introduction to quantum physics.
Every once in a while, you need a light read, yeah.
What?
Every once in a while, you need a lightweight read, you know.
Yeah, it's like casual morning commute reading, basically. So I just got through with like the first chapter about light and whether light is particles or waves.
Or waves.
Do
Don't
you
they say
know?
it's
Do you
both?
know the answer?
Isn't it both?
That's correct. Light is both particles and waves, as are most waves, by the way. Like radio waves are also particles and waves.
Ocean waves?
No, not ocean waves, you fucking hump.
Waving to your friend as he drives away.
So I've been trying to understand quantum mechanics more and more, quantum physics more and more, because really that is the underlying fucking structure of like existence. And the more I read about quantum physics and quantum mechanics, the more convinced I am that nothing is real, nothing really matters, and we are either in a simulation or nothing matters, man. Do you understand? Like, nothing's real, bro.
Yo, put that.
Scott,
what's
do
that,
you
what's that, a
understand
gun?
in
Put that fucking gun away, Russ.
Scott, do you understand on the quantum level, everything is random. Everything occurs randomly. So everything that you can test from the atomic level upwards, you can test it, and there are mathematical formulas that will predict the outcomes 100% of the time.
What?
Whereas on the quantum level, forget all that, because none of that is real, and there is no measuring anything.
Did Heisenberg say that shit? That sounds like something Heisenberg said. He was a physicist, not Heisenberg from like Breaking Bad.
No, I understand what you're saying. I don't know. He said what?
That like everything was completely random below these.
Well, that's what the whole thing of quantum physics says.
Have they mentioned his name in your book yet?
No, now they haven't mentioned Heisenberg, but that's what inspired Einstein to say God doesn't play dice. When Schrodinger came up with his equations and Einstein looked at it, he couldn't disprove it, but he didn't believe it. So Einstein died not believing like quantum theory.
Well, he was kind of an idiot, man. Come on.
He wasn't that bright. So the book actually starts off with like, if you put all the books that are written for people, like for laymen about like relativity and laid them end to end, they'd reach the moon. He's like, you would think that like relativity is the greatest discovery of the 20th century. And he's like, but it's not. Wow. So he's making the case for like quantum theory being the greatest discovery.
Yeah, listen, I don't mind a dude calling out the old science, but understand, the only reason you're researching the new science because that old science was done. So don't be fucking shitting on the old science, dude. That's all I got to say about that. So, getting back to Schrodinger's cat. Is the, what is that called, by the way?
The thought experiment?
Thought experiment, okay. So now, and correct me as we go along, if you put a cat in a box, I was always told the cat, until you open the box, the cat's both alive and both dead. I was saying, maybe that was misinterpreted. Maybe they say you don't know if the cat's alive or it's dead until you measure it, until you open it up and actually view it. So, which is right?
So it's weird. So in quantum mechanics, let's say you take like a uranium isotope that in the real world would like decompose and like you know exactly what's going to occur with it. Mm-hmm. And on the quantum level, there's a 50-50 chance of it decomposing. And nothing happens until you look. So like when you're not looking, it's acting a certain way. But then when you do look, it acts the way you think it's going to look. Mm-hmm. You understand?
Yeah.
So in other words, when you look, things start acting under our normal physical laws. But when you're not looking, it's acting all fucking weird. And now I'll tell you why I keep thinking it's a simulation. When you're playing like an open world game, right? The computer processor is exerting all of its power to show you where you are in that open world, right? So 5 miles down the road, the computer hasn't generated the graphics for that. As you move through the world, it sort of starts to generate the graphics as like you get to that place.
Right.
Which is exactly what the quantum realm is like. Like it doesn't exist until you look.
Yo.
And that's when it all of a sudden like exists. When you're not looking, it doesn't exist. So Schrodinger's cat is this. If you put like a cat in a box with a radiated, like with something radiated inside of a box, there's a 50-50 chance on the quantum realm that it's going to fucking poison and kill the cat. You don't know until you look whether the cat is dead or whether it's alive.
Okay, so that Schrodinger's cat thought experiment does not say the cat's both alive and dead.
It does say that. It says the cat exists in two states at the same time.
Superposition? Is that what it's called?
I'm not sure.
I think 2 states.
I'm only one chapter into it, man.
Oh, okay. All right. So, they keep promising quantum computing is going to lead to some really
I don't know what that
powerful
means,
stuff.
by the way.
Quantum
That's a
computing?
very nebulous term, quantum computing. That just means super fast calculations?
No, see, it doesn't actually. Like they're saying, like from what little I know about it, quantum computers will be able to do things today's computers cannot do. Digital computers can do, However, a quantum computer is not going to let you play your favorite video game at 4,000 frames per second. Like, it's not that kind of computing. So it's
Okay.
not going to be any faster than a regular computer, but it's going to be able to do vastly different things.
Okay.
What that means exactly, I'm not sure. So, do you think it was
But I
going
don't
to take...
think that has anything to do with the quantum like realm, does it?
Well, I don't know where I was going with this at first, but I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
say this. If you're in a simulation, I'm assuming like a modern computer couldn't create the simulation. It's going to take something a hell of a lot more powerful. So, isn't it safe to say it's probably a quantum computer running the simulation?
Yes.
Okay. Is it possible that you had this real big interest in quantum stuff because you actually were on the team that created the equipment that is providing the simulation, but you've been in it so long, you've forgotten where you've come from?
Why would I put myself into the simulation?
Because the nuclear holocaust was coming, so you're waiting it out.
But
You built it selfishly, man.
that's not what a simulation is.
Well, the simulation, man, isn't. It's just you're in a fucking jar. They're feeding you all these images, so that's a simulation.
Okay.
Everything around you is a simulation.
Okay.
So you created the simulation.
I mean, we have simulations now of like black holes, and we're trying to like create simulations of like the first moments of the Big Bang, right? Like after the Big Bang, right? So that's why we would create a simulation. We would create a simulation in order to study like human history, like in the future. So again, I've brought this up. What are the odds that we right now are real and we're the society that's going to evolve eventually one day to create computers sophisticated enough to create simulations like this? Or what are the odds that it's already happened and we're in the simulation? You understand? What are the odds that we're the first fucking civilization?
That will create a simulation.
Correct.
Um,
And that it hasn't happened already.
I'm going to say I can't. Where do I pull these numbers from? I can't predict that. But what I will say is we're not in a simulation. If there is going to be a simulation, we're going to be the ones because we haven't gotten there yet. And the reason I know this is because I don't feel it. Like, I don't feel like we're in a simulation, man.
You don't have faith.
Oh, shit.
That's thunder, Scott. It's all right.
What?
We're safe.
What? That was scary.
Scott just looked like my cats when they hear thunder.
Wait a minute. Hold on. So, I'll tell you what I did today.
Thunder only happens when it's raining.
After the party last night, I ended up sleeping late today, but I came down and I started jacking up floor joists. So I've done a lot of structural work on the structure around us. So that could have been thunder, or that could have been some of my work giving way and we're about to die. So
That's like what people heard in the World Trade Tower, like before, like it
See?
came down on
you've
them.
lived the World Trade experience now, man. But you didn't know to be afraid. So now the next time you hear it, now you'll know.
All right. So you're saying the house can collapse on top of us at any moment?
Man. I did shit right.
All right. Well, luckily the ceiling doesn't look like it's too like fucking heavy here. It's just like foam, so we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Fine, man.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, you want to get into the Bible?
Let's take a live caller and see what they want us to do.
Take a live caller. I gotta say, by the way, I was thinking about some of our listeners that have reached out and like listened to our show like on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I gotta say that I like those people. I like the people that get us. Know what I mean? That listen to us on a consistent basis, that like the show. Because I'll tell you this, Scott. I listen to our show every once in a while, and I like it. I think we do a good job. I think we're engaging. I think we're funny. And I think as we've, like, put in more and more episodes, we've gotten much better at it.
Yeah. I have to agree with that, man. When I listen to our shows, I tend to laugh. But we come from a bias. Yo, man. So you created a simulation, and now your simulation of you is creating a virtual, like, podcast. And, like, oh, this is...
We talked about
This is
this
trippy. When?
in another simulation. Yeah, so shout out to people that have been with us, if not from day one, that have been with us, you know, for a good number of episodes. And fuck everyone else. Fuck, if you've just come along, if you're just like some new listener, some Johnny come lately, fucking talk to us in 30 or 40 episodes, all right?
You know what the fuck you just did? You're one of those.
Show some stamina.
You're one of those people somehow is somehow related to this. In my brain, it makes sense that would be like, yo, I got crushing student loan debt, so they should have to deal with crushing student loan debt, man.
No, you're wrong. You know what I'm like? I'll tell you what I'm like. You're watching cable TV, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, a
the new
commercial
shit.
for Fios comes on. And it's like some unbelievable deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in the little tiny writing on the bottom, it's for new customers only. Fuck like the old loyal customers.
Agreed.
You know? Right.
All right.
So what I'm saying is, man, fuck the new fucking customers, you know?
All right.
Shout out to the old loyal fucking customers.
Nice, man. You are throwing. You're disrupting the ways of the world, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I was worried. I was like, wait a minute. You're actually being nice to our listeners?
I'm being nice to only certain listeners.
Does that include longtime listeners that contributed that maybe you got nasty with, like iodine?
I got nasty with
I
iodine?
know, just,
I mean, we did an episode. I even asked you, like, am I getting nasty with iodine? And you were like, no.
I lie to you a lot, man.
I mean, it's
So-
probably for the best.
so does that-
You don't want to trigger me.
Yes, Rusty, you're the best. Yes, and everything. All right, good, man. I'm glad you. Yeah. Wow, it takes a lot. I gotta tell you, Rusty has very, 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 almost next to no friends. So, for him to allow you guys in that close, that's pretty impressive, man.
Whoa. What do you mean allow them in that close?
You're saying things that are nice about them.
Right, but that doesn't mean I'm allowing them anywhere near me. Have you seen our list? They are fucking degenerates, bro.
All right, stop. Let's leave it on a positive, man. The new listeners are degenerates. Yeah. All right, what are we doing, man?
We're doing a show about the fucking Bible. We're two atheists from Queens reading the Bible for the first time, not on air, you maniacs.
Wow, did you read that from memory?
Except we're doing it on air.
Did you read it from memory, that tag?
I didn't read it. I recited it from memory.
Nice. Oh,
If
right,
I was
man.
reading
I
it,
got
it
it, man.
wouldn't
I
be
got
from
it, man.
memory.
Look how Scott's dumb vocabulary. He's stupid. Yeah,
Look at the words coming out of your
Reads
face.
like a dick, talks like a dick. Must be a dick. Quacks like a duck.
All right, so last time, by the way, we said
I
that...
wouldn't know. I didn't write the previously on. Oh.
How do we know?
You said last time. I said I wouldn't know. I didn't write the previously on.
I get it. Last episode at the end, we teased the fact that today or next episode, which is now today recording, would be the last episode of 2 Samuel because we mistakenly thought there were only 2 chapters left for us to do. It turns out there's actually 4 chapters left for us to do. So in all likelihood, not having read ahead, it doesn't look like we're going to finish 2 Samuel today.
You want to...
And to prepare you all, because Scott and I have had a discussion about this. I don't know how Scott is going to handle this over the next little while. We had talked about taking a hiatus
Yes.
after 2 Samuel. We have been recording nonstop we have put out an episode every week since January of 2022. Right?
That is
2022?
Yes.
So it's been, is this our 90th episode?
It's
now?
89 or 90, yeah.
So 90 consecutive weeks we have put out an episode, and I'm starting to feel, I'm not going to say burnt out, but I'm definitely starting to feel like I could use like a little, 3-4 week hiatus to recharge the old, energy.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it, man. I got very little to live for, man. This is one of them, man.
Yeah, I think sometimes stepping away, you come back and you're better than you were before you even left because you have that motivation again. You have that energy, that zest.
Being an employee of less than 2 years, you only get 1 week paid vacation time. So that's all you're getting, man. Like, you haven't earned that second week.
1 week of paid vacation time? What job is only like offering people 1 week at
You
this
read
point?
the HR manual before you took this fucking job.
Okay. Yeah, so just want to tell everybody, but I'm going to tell you this. If Scott actually had any motivation he would put together perhaps like little like clip shows and put one out during those like 3 or 4 weeks that we won't be producing new content.
Yeah, kind of a shame that Scott doesn't have any motivation, huh?
So yeah, prepare yourselves.
Do you want to do a poll on this, man?
No, this is not a poll. A poll what? Where I'm going to ask people whether or not I should take a break?
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying you're going to fucking abide by the poll results, but what are the like with people hearing this right now? Some people might be on the edge, dude.
Oh, by the way, I put up a poll.
Well, I'm talking about a new poll, though. I'm talking about my poll I'm fucking talking about,
Look,
man.
I
want to know the reaction.
You want me to pull up the poll about whether I should take a hiatus?
No, how they feel about it, man.
Well, okay, that's not really a poll. That's like an open-ended question.
No, you give them fucking levels. You give them how many choices that you give them choices,
what are
right?
the choices that we would give them? Are you feeling happy? Sad?
Like, yes,
conflicted?
Please, my brain's hurting too. My ears are bleeding from listening to you. All the way to like, no, I'm going to commit suicide if I don't get fresh episodes.
Okay, why don't you think of like how someone might think, and then I'll put it up.
All right.
All right. We do have a poll up, though.
Remind me to do that?
Sure. We do have a poll up. I'm going to pull it up right now.
You're going to pull it up?
Some people have answered it.
Pull it up. Pull it up.
I'm going to pull up the poll on my phone. I don't understand. I don't get it.
It doesn't matter. Go on, man.
No,
I was
go ahead.
I was just
Explain
goofing
it.
on the pronunciation of words, man. Don't worry,
The
man.
way I pronounced
No,
it?
just in general. Just fucking go, man.
Why are you so angry? I'm trying to understand what you're
saying. Because it was a bad fucking joke that you're now bringing attention to it.
So you're embarrassed that you
a
threw out that joke.
I am.
All right, but why is that my fault? Why are you yelling at me?
No, it's not your fault. It's your fault. You keep talking about it. Move on.
I wish you just take responsibility for your shitty
you know
fucking humor.
Fucking, we need a fucking hiatus.
Oh my
man.
God.
Holy shit.
All right. The question was,
bring it down a notch.
should we continue including previously ons at the start of each episode?
Oh, shit.
100% of voters said
no.
yes. And then one person came in, Mike H8404. Mike H8404 said they are gold! Exclamation point. So I'm assuming Mike H8404 voted for yes.
Or he's trying to throw you off the scent,
they're
man.
gold, Jerry. They're gold.
He's throwing you off the scent, man.
So the people are clamoring, Scott, for previously ons. Now, here's the thing, Mike H808 or whatever the fuck your name is.
Whoa. Because he actually submitted real feedback,
Yeah.
is he now in the category of people you like, or he's got to have like more feedback?
I'm indifferent to him. So you know, Mike, I was the one that was writing the previously ons when they were gold.
Dude, it's
so
a team, man.
moving forward,
man.
Scott will be taking over. So I cannot vouch for the quality. I mean, it might have been gold in the past. So it's like American coinage. You know, at one point we used like silver for our coinage, and then we changed it to zinc. So you might be getting some zinc. Okay,
Why I gotta be zinc,
the gold
man?
days might be over, Mike. I'm just warning you. You've heard the way Scott talks.
Wait till
You've heard the way he reads. Now you're gonna get his writing abilities.
Oh man, you suck.
Yeah, I try. All right, so we're gonna put up a poll about how you feel about us taking a hiatus after 2 Samuel before we move on to the next book, whatever the next book is.
Rusty
What's after
puts up the
2 Samuel?
polls.
Kings. First Kings.
Rusty puts up the polls, so you know they're the best. He has the best polls ever.
Ask anybody. They'll tell you.
Yeah.
All right, so 2 Samuel 20.
2 Samuel 20.
Let's hear Scott read.
Let's go with it, man.
Don't fuck up, Scott. All the pressure's on you.
2 Samuel 20. The rebellion of Sheba. Is Sheba a person or is Sheba a county, like
The
land?
rebellion of Sheba. I'm going to say Sheba is a place, like beer, Sheba.
Oh. So yeah, that's why I like this live shit. The very first sentence shoots out that theory down. Now a scoundrel named Sheba.
Oh, well, we were wrong. It's
son of
not a place.
Petrie.
It's literally the first sentence. It's a person.
So do we like not knowing what the very next sentence is going to be?
I do.
All right. Do
I
they
not
like
knowing.
it?
Do the audience?
Yeah.
Scott, the audience doesn't know what it likes until we give it to them, and then they decide if they like it or not.
All right. Well, we've done both, so.
I think
Now
so.
a scoundrel named Sheba, son of Petrie, a Benjaminite, happened to be there. See, now if we had
beware.
If we had it previously on, I know where the fuck we're at. Where the fuck are these people?
Oh, all right. So in the last episode, what happened was Absalom, right, David's son, was riding a donkey, and he got caught up in a tree branch for whatever reason. I don't know. He got fucking stabbed up and died. David was like, woo! And then eventually David returned to, like, Jerusalem. Remember? Like, he was recalled.
Right.
So he's entered the city, and it's like, you know, like trumpets. Everyone's
and people
like,
were rushing to David, saying,
and then people like, yeah.
all of a sudden kissing his ass or saying,
Yeah,
I
they're
did
like,
the wrong thing.
I've always been behind you.
Right.
You know why? Like, you know, who wanted to see you in a cage, man?
Yeah, man. All right, so that's where we're at. That's where he's at. I want to tell you, the last episode was published, right? With the guy hanging from the tree. Come on, that fucking episode name?
That was genius.
That was joint
50-50,
genius, man.
50-50.
See how I do, man?
Scott came up with Pinata, and I came up with Intifada. The Intifada Pinata.
Right, because Scott knows stupid words like pinata.
Is that what? That's the assumption that was in my head.
So this guy
You're not
happened to be
wrong.
there.
I'm just saying, like, I didn't realize I was so obvious.
So this scoundrel happened to be there. He sounded the trumpet and cried out, "We have no portion in David, no share in the son of Jesse. Everyone to your tents, O Israel."
And everyone was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Get off your fucking milk carton, dude. Put the fucking mega horn down.
Is that you, Scott?
That's probably me.
Yeah.
Wow, so all the people of Israel withdrew from David and followed Sheba, son of Bichri, but the people of Judah followed their king steadfastly from the Jordan to Jerusalem.
So that's David.
So now this scoundrel, is he a politician? Like, he has to have a name. Like, or are these people so sheepish that some random guy screams loud, go back into your tents, and everybody goes back in their tents? What kind of power does this guy have?
So I feel like I'm having trouble remembering. I feel like we had this conversation
Welcome to my world.
we had this conversation last time about Israel and Judah.
Mm-hmm.
Israel are the tribes, like the 11 tribes, and Judah is like a separate thing, or is Judah like the land where the Canaanites are? So like the Israelites are turning their back on David. They're the ones he wants to really rule, because the Canaanites are like shit. They're like our audience, basically. Like, no one wants to fucking deal with that bullshit.
Wait. No.
Like the Israelites are like the audience we really want. Like the quality audience that's going to go to our Patreon and subscribe to our Patreon
I
and
disagree,
pay
man.
for our content.
Nah, disagree.
You disagree.
The Israelites right now are the audience that needs to step it up. The people from Judah are the ones marching behind us. They got our fucking back. The Mike 4708s, the Iodines, the Soy Boys, the K Tysons.
Okay. All right.
Those are fucking people.
But those names you remember somehow.
Because they've touched me.
Like, you just
They've
pulled that
touched
shit
me.
out like Rain Man.
It was pretty good.
Like, I have no idea how
I'm
you
sure
remembered all
Mike
that.
808 was not the right number. I'm sure I threw out the wrong number.
Mike H.
Mike H.
Yeah. 808 is the
So-
fucking studio equipment that creates, like, bass.
Right. Unless you're Kara
Maybe
thinks
he
about
is.
that.
Maybe he's Mike H. 808 because he's into, like, 808s.
Maybe. So those are the people that have touched me of our
Sounds
audience,
like I
man.
hate him in real life.
David came to his house at Jerusalem, and the king took the 10 concubines who he had left to look after the house and put them in a house under guard and provided for them, but did not go into them. So they were shut up until the day of their death, living as if in widowhood. That's a fucked up move, David. Yo, he left the concubines behind, remember?
Yeah.
He was like, yo, man, take care of this fucking house. So now the other people moved in. They had their ways with the concubines, which he had to know was going to happen. And now he comes back and he's like, I don't get out of here. I don't want you. That was a plan, first of all.
All right, but
He
what?
was tired of the old concubines. He used it as an excuse to get rid of them. He wanted some new ass. This is what he does.
Why are you saying, though, it's fucked up? You're assuming that these women were just sitting around waiting for David to fuck them all day? Like, maybe they were happy that they just were provided for and didn't have to, like, serve as David whenever he wanted.
That's
Maybe they were
possible.
happy to be rid of him.
So why were they stuck in a house and a boarded up house and they couldn't come out until the day they died? Because that's what shut up until the day of their death.
I
meant.
ain't hear you complaining about the Playboy Mansion, and basically this is like what the Playboy Mansion was like. It was just a bunch of like fucking whoas that were fucking forced to live with Hugh Hefner.
I ain't reading a book about Hugh Hefner in the Playboy Mansion, though. If that's the case, I'll have the same fucking objection.
All right.
Yeah, all right. So, all right. Then the king said to Amasa, "Call the men of Judah together to me within 3 days, and be here yourself." So Amasa went to summon Judah, but he delayed beyond the set time that had been appointed him. David said to Abishai, "Now Sheba, son of Bichri, will do us more harm than Absalom. Take your lord's servants and pursue him, or he will find fortified cities for himself and escape from us." So I need a synopsis of that, man.
He wants to fucking get this fucking Sheba guy because he's like, this guy's gonna fucking be more dangerous than my son Absalom.
Yeah, I think first of all, you're rose-colored glassing this. Like, your son Absalom was a piece of shit, man. And you think this guy's gonna do you worse? And the betrayal of a family member? There's nothing worse, man. Nothing worse. Nah, that's not true, man. Honestly, I don't believe what I just said. A trusted friend betrays you. That's fucked up. So you can't choose your family, right?
Absalom was enough of a piece of shit, right, that he wasn't able to bring all of Israel to his side. But this Sheba guy looks like Israel, like all of Israel. Listen, you know what I mean? So David had an off ramp back into the graces of fucking being the king of Israel after Absalom. He's saying this guy Sheba, he just fucking, with one word, like all of Israel turned away from me and fucking followed this fucker back. He's way more dangerous than fucking Absalom.
I got Russ way to pay attention to what we just read 30 seconds ago, man. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Thank you, Scott. I am reading Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah. Joab's men went out after him, along with the... Is this a new group? Cherethites.
Wait. Where are you? Oh, I got you.
Joab's men went out after him, along with the Cherethites, the Pelethites, and all the warriors. They went out from Jerusalem to pursue Sheba, son of Bichri. When they were at the large stone that is in Gibeon, Amasa came to meet them. Now Joab was wearing a soldier's garment, and over it was a belt with a sword in its sheath, fastened at his waist. As he went forward, it fell out.
What a fucking incompetent idiot.
I was going to say, what a spaz, but apparently you're not supposed to say that now. Either that's another thing we can't say.
Spaz?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that. All right.
I don't know.
I'll take your word for it.
Maybe don't roll in spastic circles,
You've got
man.
your finger on the fucking pulse of, like, modern society.
Joab said to Amasa, "Is it well with you, my brother?" Say, yo, what the fuck's the matter with you? Is he just what he just said?
Is it well with you, my brother?
And Joab took Amasa by the beard.
And then he gave him, like, he slapped him 5. He's like, give me some skin.
And Joab took Amasa by the beard with his right hand to kiss him. But Amasa did not notice the sword in Joab's hand. Joab struck him in the belly so that his entrails poured out on the ground, and he died. He did not strike a second blow.
So it was all a ploy. Like, he pretended like his sword fell so he could pick it up and be like, oh, look at what an idiot I am. Hey, what's going on?
So wait a minute. Maybe, so he dropped the sword. He was like, is it well with you, my brother? Like, is something wrong, man? Like, why are you dropping the sword? So he noticed that. Then he grabs him by the beard to kiss him. He didn't notice him picking it back up?
No, no. Joab was walking towards Amasa. Joab's sword fell. Joab bent down and picked it up. And then he walked up to Amasa and he was like, hey, what's going on, my man? Making it seem like he was like some incompetent fucking asshole who just like dropped his sword. And he was like, oh, what's going on? And he stabbed him.
So do you think...
Yes.
It was a second sword?
No, I think it was probably the sword that he like picked up.
Yeah. But I don't know how fucking Amasa did not notice the sword in his hand, though, man. That's all I'm saying. He dropped it in front of him. He must have picked it up in front of him.
Oh, I see what you mean. So he dropped the sword, didn't pick it up, and he had like a second sword ready to go. Like fucking.
Maybe.
It was like a distraction. That sword was a distraction for the one he had in his hand.
Yeah. And Amasa said, is it well with you, my brother? When he was stabbing, he was like, is it well with you, my brother?
Joab said, is it well with you, my brother? Joab said to Amasa, is it well with you, my brother? I mean, look, we could do the book that you're talking about.
I totally read it wrong. Like, he saw the guy drop the sword. He was like, yo, is everything all right with you?
Yes, no.
No, that didn't happen at all, man. Let's move on.
That's what I'm saying. Look, we could do the book that you have in your head, or we can do the book that's written on the page. I'm good with either one, but we got to, like, figure out which one it's going to be.
Then Joab and his brother Abishai pursued Sheba, son of Bichri. And one of
Stop.
What?
There's 3 names I got to wrap my head around. Let's do that from now on, because I'm a little slow with names.
Like, that's not your title, man. That's my title.
What do you mean?
I'm the worst with the fucking names,
No,
man.
you can't read names. But for me, I'm trying to process, like, the scene. So when you read over the names so quickly and then go on to the next sentence, I immediately, like, I'm lost because I'm still trying to process the names. Then Joab and his brother. Okay, so it doesn't matter who his brother is. Joab and his brother pursued Sheba, son of Bichri. Okay, so after he stabs this fucker, they're going after Sheba. All right. You're on verse 11.
Yeah. And one of Joab's men took his stand by Amasa and said, whoever favors Joab and whoever is for David, let him follow Joab. Wait. Whoever favors Joab and whoever's for David, let him follow Joab. I'm not understanding this.
He's saying, if you're with David, follow us. He's part of Joab's crew.
Yeah, because I flipped him in the previous paragraph and still in my head it flipped.
Joab's like the guy that's always coming in hot, you know?
Yeah, like you. Amasa lay wallowing in his blood on the highway. Whoa.
He's like, he's Mr. Pink in Reservoir Dogs. I'm gonna die!
What I don't like is the last 2 sentences of the paragraph before. His entrails poured out on the ground and he died. And now the next chapter, he's wallowing. Like, you might want to check the zombie over there. Amasa lay wallowing in his blood on the highway, and the man saw that all the people were stopping. Since he saw that all who came by him were stopping, he carried Amasa from the highway into a field and threw a garment over him. Basically, because you committed a murder, and everybody's seeing the fucking murdered guy, and you had to dispose. Like, how arrogant are you that you just left the body there, man?
What's that really murder? It's the army.
Yeah, fair enough.
Casualty of war.
Yeah, just doing his job, following orders,
That's it.
right?
That's it.
Once he was removed from the highway, all the people went on after Joab to pursue Sheba, son of Bichri.
By the way, is this the first? The use of the term highway is very stark. It's almost like out of nowhere, they're just saying highway.
This might be after the, I think it was Wilson passed the fucking act, the Inter-American Highway Act. So, like,
I don't think that was Wilson,
I know,
bro.
and that's
I think
not
that was during the
was
Great
called.
Depression.
And it certainly was not called that. You know, the American Highway fucking Act.
I hereby do decree.
Why don't you kick off verse 14, man?
All right, 2 Samuel 20, verse 14. Sheba passed through all the tribes of Israel to Abel of Beth-Makkah, and all the Bichrites assembled and followed him inside. Sheba passed through all the tribes of Israel to Abel of Beth-Makkah, and all the Bichrites assembled and followed. What's a Bichright?
They're from the beach.
Heberites. Compare Greek Heberite. Yo, these footnotes that are supposed to, like, elaborate on shit don't really elaborate on anything.
Yeah.
All right. So Sheba's like trying to get away.
Yeah.
Joab's forces came and besieged him in Abel of Beth-Makkah. They threw up a siege ramp against the city, and it stood against the rampart. Joab's forces were battering the wall to break it down. Then a wise woman called from the city. Listen, listen. Tell Joab, come here, I want to speak to you. He came near her. Why?
Yeah, like, where are your credentials?
Can you imagine, like, if some woman in Ukraine was like, Putin, come here, I need to speak to you. And he, like, dropped everything and, like, went to speak to this random, like, woman.
Maybe she's very beautiful and Joab's a horn dog.
Scott, this is like the year 2000 BC. Chances are she is not that beautiful, all right?
Comparatively speaking.
Plus, it says she's a wise woman, so we know where that's going.
Yeah, there's no.
You can't be wise and beautiful at the
you're
same
right,
time.
you're right.
I
I mean, that's what society tells us.
By the way, do you know about Hedy Lamarr? Do you know who Hedy Lamarr was?
I know that name. Wasn't she like a spy dancer? No, it was Mata Hari.
That was Mata Hari. Hedy Lamarr was like some like Norwegian or like one of those like Northern European, like Danish, like one of
Like a
those Viking
Viking,
cultures, right? So Hedy Lamarr was a Hollywood starlet in like the 30s and 40s. Fucking hot as fuck.
Yeah, I know who
She
it is. I know who
invented
she is.
Wi-Fi, bro.
Yes.
She
I know who
invented Wi-Fi.
Pretty dope
Yeah.
for a woman.
All right. So, then a wise woman called from the city. Listen, tell Joab, come here, I want to speak to you. He came near her, and the woman said, Are you Joab? He answered, I am. Then she said to him, Listen to the words of your servant. He answered, I am listening. Then she said, They used to say in the old days, Let them inquire at Abel. And so they would settle a matter. I am one of those who are peaceable and faithful in Israel. You seek to destroy a city that is a mother in Israel. Why will you swallow up the heritage of the Lord? Joab answered, Far be it from me, far be it that I should swallow up or destroy. That is not the case. But a man of the hill country of Ephraim, called Sheba, son of Bichri, has lifted up his hand against King David. Give him up alone, and I will withdraw from the city. The woman said to Joab, His head shall be thrown over the wall to you. Then the woman went to all the people with her wise plan. Oh, it's a very wise plan.
She's a wise woman.
And they cut off the head of Sheba, son of Bichri, and threw it out to Joab. So he blew the trumpet.
Wait, who blew the trumpet? The severed head of Joab? Because we know there's zombies in this fucking
Joab's
place.
head isn't the one that got severed, bro. Sheba's head got severed, bro.
Whatever the head came from, that person's severed head blew the trumpet.
So he blew the trumpet, and they dispersed from the city, and all went to their homes, while Joab returned to Jerusalem to the king. So this fucking idiot Sheba went to the city thinking it was going to like fucking like provide sanctuary for him. And all it took was like one conversation for the woman to be like, hold on. Can we just throw this guy's head over the wall to you?
I hope they have like a internet short that shows what the plan was and how they ended up getting to him and severing his head. Like, I wonder if it was like a devious plan. Like, it was like super involved for no reason instead of someone just like coming up behind him and decapitating him.
It was probably
Like he was coaxed into like the
it was
the
like the
bedroom
scene
of somebody.
in Goodfellas where they called Tommy in. He's like, "Oh, he's getting made," and then Tommy walked into the room. So fucking Sheba walked into the room, looked around, and he was like, "Fuck!" And then someone came up behind him and like sliced his head off.
He saw the plastic wrap on the floor.
Yeah. Now Joab was in command of all the army of Israel. Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, was in command of the Cherethites and the Pelethites. Adoram was in charge of the forced labor, slaves. Jehoshaphat, son of Ahilud, was the recorder. This sounds like what that guy wanted our podcast to be. It's like a whole crew of people, you know?
We should put up like have auditions for these roles, like, but they have to go by these names too. Like, who's gonna play Jehoshaphat?
Shiva was secretary. Zadok and Abiathar were priests, and Ira the Jairite was also David's priest. So what's this? Is this like his round table, his cabinet?
Yeah.
It's like the world's first cabinet.
Yeah, I'll say so. Yeah.
Where they all have to sit around a table and suck up to like David and pretend like he's like the smartest person on the planet.
I like that they have a cabinet position for Adoram was in charge of the forced labor, the slave master. You know, make biblical times great again, man, I guess.
Build that wall.
But don't make it high enough that you can't chuck a severed head over it. Man, these were some crazy times, right?
Listen, it was a different era.
2 Samuel 21.
Oh, by the way, did you hear about Russell Brand?
That was the guy that was married to Katy Perry, and I didn't have no idea was he a comedian or an actor? What the fuck was he?
He was like a British comedian.
A shit actor, right? Was he
I don't know
good?
if he's a shit actor. I haven't seen him in enough shit, but he's always struck me as like a narcissist who's like in love with himself and his own like ideas and thoughts, and he's a very eloquent man. Like his grasp of like the English language and like the way he's able to construct his thoughts like precisely and accurately, like on the fly, and present arguments. Very, very intelligent. But always struck me as a fucking real creep and like narcissist. Did you hear about what happened?
Nope.
Oh, there was like a whole expose in England that was like an investigation done by like a newspaper. He's a fucking rapist, bro. Like he is like a pattern rapist of fucking women. Yes.
Oh shit! You think Katy Perry knew that?
I don't know.
Think she was a victim? Let's not talk about it.
Do you ever take anything seriously?
I am taking it seriously. What the? Yo, he's a rapist. Yo, what the hell is his name?
Yes, him and Katy Perry were raping women together.
I didn't say. I said, was she a victim, man?
What do you think that song?
You're going dark, man.
When she wrote "fucking I Kissed a Girl," it was under duress, man.
Oh shit! And she's like, I hope my boyfriend don't mind it. Meanwhile, he's tying her up while she's doing it.
Which is what actually happened with Rick James. You know about that, Rick James? So Rick James fucking went on a coke bender with his wife, and they like kidnapped like some woman and held her like sex hostage for like I don't know, days.
Shit.
Like days. They had her tied up and like used her for like whatever, while him and his wife were like, you know, on a major bender.
You know how these fucking Hollywood musician fucking creative types are. They're all
awful.
fucking pedophiles and shit.
Awful.
Damn, who that guy from the 70s show just got convicted of fucking rape too, man?
30 years, man.
Man.
Take care.
Yeah, hope it was worth it. I mean, you know, if it happened. That's the kind of shit that will get us ratings, man. Throwing out fucked up controversies like that. Yeah.
All right.
Because that's taking a shot at the fucking judicial system. That's taking a shot at the rape victim.
The snowflakes.
Yeah, we can
who are all like, ooh, rape, that's terrible.
Yo, can I digress for a second? I just watched a video. Apparently, some cop in Seattle was responding to an emergency and hit a woman doing 74 miles an hour. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
So, to those who haven't, so apparently this woman died. I think she was 26. And then, like, another cop has his body camera on. He's driving his car, and he's telling the story. And he's like, oh, yeah, she was hit. She was killed, and breaks into ridiculous laughter.
Yeah.
And then continues to, like, make it worse by saying, $11,000 check to the family. Be done with it.
Yep.
And then so it goes, well, she was 27, so she was reduced in value anyway.
Right.
So I was like, I had to stop. I was like, is it because she's too old or too young? What is he going for here? So this guy made a fucking mockery of shit, man. Someone's dead.
His explanation was he was mocking the office that pays out like to people and how they quantify payments. They're like, well, we'll pay this amount of money for this death based on like this actuary fucking report. So he's saying that's what he was making fun of.
That's funny because the first thing I heard from him wasn't that. It was a statement that was released, and he was like, it was misinterpreted. There's nothing further from the truth. Like that kind of like it didn't say anything. So that's funny that this is like the second thing that he's saying now, and I'm telling you the third thing once he's coached properly will be, listen, I get traumatized by shit like that. That's my coping mechanism. I have to laugh. I have to like shrug it off. Like I'm too tough. Blah blah blah. It's a problem I have. I was in no way. Watch it. That's the next fucking excuse.
Well, he's had a lot of practice being fucking like going through that, and because of trauma, because they released like complaints against him.
Oh no.
And it's like a fucking it's a yard long.
Yeah, but listen, any cop that's really doing his job and doing it well is going to fucking crack some eggs, man. It's going to be pissed off people out there because he's doing his job so well.
Back the blue, Scott.
No matter who.
Back the blue. 2 Samuel 21, Scott. You want to pick it up?
I'll pick it up, man. David avenges the Gibeonites. That better be the hardest name in the paragraph. Now there was a famine in the days of David for 3 years, year after year. And David inquired of the Lord. The Lord said, there is blood guilt on Saul and on his house because he put the Gibeonites to death. Do we remember that?
Saul putting the Gibeonites to death.
Yeah, Saul probably did some shit like that, man. I'm going to say since the
But
Lord
the Gibeonites are like Canaanites, so why would he be punished for that?
I'm sure we would know if we remember the actual incident. But so the king called the Gibeonites and spoke to them. Parentheses. Now the Gibeonites were not of the people of Israel.
I'm sorry. So the king called the Gibeonites?
Yeah.
On a telephone?
Probably. What do you mean on the telephone?
Or is it like Rocky when he's like, hey, I'll call up, Paulie. Hey, Paulie!
Now
Your sister's with me.
Now the Gibeonites were not of the people of Israel, but of the remnant of the Amorites, although the people of Israel had sworn to spare them. I remember them now. Saul had tried to wipe them out in his zeal for the people of Israel and Judah. Because they needed to blame somebody for the world's problems. David said to the Gibeonites, "What shall I do for you? How shall I make expiation, that you may bless the heritage of the Lord?" The Gibeonites said to him, "It is not a matter of silver or gold between us and Saul or his house. Neither is it for us to put anyone to death in Israel." He said, "What do you say that I should do for you?" They said to the king, "The man who consumed us and planned to destroy us so that we should have no place in all the territory of Israel, let the 7 of his sons be handed over to us, and we will impale them before the Lord at Gibeon on the mountain of the Lord." The king said, "I will hand them over." All right, so
he's going to hand over sons of Saul.
I don't recall Saul that well. Was it 7 sons down with that shit?
Saul was the really handsome dude, the tall, handsome guy, right, that became like king, even though he didn't really want to be king, because the people wanted the king, and then God was like, "Fine, you want a king? Like, I'll fuck with you." Like him and Solomon or whatever, remember? Like Solomon was like a prophet, because like the woman was like, "Oh, God, please give me like a child, and I'll give my child up to you." And then the whole book was named like Solomon, but fucking Solomon had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
And then him and like Yahweh chose this fucking scumbag. And this is the scumbag that kept throwing fucking the spears at David, because last episode you're like, who's the guy that kept fucking throwing the spears at fucking... This is the guy.
Do you think, getting back to the bad spear chucking, do you think like he wasn't really that bad with the spear? Just like weird fucking things would happen, like he's been getting ready to throw the spear, and then David notices a coin on the ground, and he goes to pick it up, so the spear flies over his head. He's not even aware the spear went by.
It's like a Mr. Magoo scenario.
Yeah,
like it's just a sheer dumb luck.
like he's about to get speared, but he accidentally walks onto a girder that's being lifted by a crane.
Right.
Why don't you pick up the next paragraph, man?
But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Saul's son Jonathan, because of the oath of the Lord that was between them, between David and Jonathan, son of Saul. The king took the 2 sons of Rizpah, daughter of Aiah, whom she bore to Saul, Armani and Mephibosheth, and the 5 sons of Merab, daughter of Saul, whom she bore to Adriel, son of Barsali, the blah, blah, blah.
Yo, fuck this paragraph, man.
He gave them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they impaled them on the mountain before the Lord. Yeah, like, they don't even... Why would they even mention the names of people who had no role in this book whatsoever? Like, it doesn't matter, right? Like,
and these aren't the dudes that are getting impaled.
Like, yeah, like, he handed over some people, and, like, that's the end of the story. He gave them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they impaled them on the mountain before the Lord. Now, impaling, that's asshole to mouth.
Yes.
Right.
Not in a good way.
All right, that was funny.
That's it for the night. I'm calling it the night. Pull it. Pull the plug. So wait. So I'm just... My conversation before. So we're assuming the 7 sons of Saul were scumbags too, just like Saul. So they deserve
Did
this.
he have 7 sons for 7 daughters?
Possibly.
All right. I'm not assuming they were scumbags. Why are you assuming they were scumbags?
You know these people, man. Like
you know these people. The 7 of them perished together. Did they, like, really, they perished after being impaled? They were
What does together mean? Does it have to mean the same time? It could just be mean in proximity.
Or were they impaled together like the human centipede? You know what I mean?
Oh, that's fucking nasty. I mean, it wouldn't be out of the realm of this
Like
book.
stick them on like one long like pole, you know?
They call it a soul kebab.
The seven of them perished together. They were put to death in the first days of harvest, at the beginning of barley harvest.
I was about to ask why even mention that, but because there's no...
Because it's festive.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like it's harvest time.
I'm just thinking there's probably, there's no calendars and shit, so...
There's no what?
There's no real calendars, so you got to get a concept of when it happened. What time of year did this happen?
Oh, okay.
Because it's important to know when the human centipede was created. Gross.
Then Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, took sackcloth and spread it on a rock for herself from the beginning of harvest until rain fell on them from the heavens. She did not allow the birds of the air to come on the bodies by day or the wild animals by night. When David was told what Rizpah, daughter of Aiah, the concubine of Saul, had done, David went and took the bones of Saul and the bones of his son Jonathan from the people of Jabesh Gilead, who had stolen them from the public square of Bethshan, where the Philistines had hung them up on the day the Philistines killed Saul on Gilboa. He brought up from there the bones of Saul and the bones of his son Jonathan, and they gathered the bones of those who had been impaled. They buried the bones of Saul and of his son Jonathan in the land of Benjamin and Zelah, in the tomb of his father Kish. They did all that the king commanded. After that, God heeded supplications for the land.
Okay, supplications in this kind? What does that mean?
Supplications are like when you like ask for something. So like God granted like the requests.
Oh, you know what? These people didn't ask for? Reparations, man. That's what I'm saying. This is the kind of shit that will get us ratings, man.
This is how I know I didn't create this simulation.
Right.
Because I probably would not have created someone with your intelligence or lack thereof.
I am you, man. So, again, they're just leaving bodies out for everybody to see. So you think Rizpah was just like, we need to cover this up? Not out of it wasn't a respect thing. It was just like, this shouldn't be here. Like, people shouldn't be looking at this shit, man. So you think David's an all right guy now? He was like, let's gather
because
up all
of
the
one
bones.
thing that he did.
I mean, after he had these 7 people impaled, because essentially he had them impaled, he knew they were going to be impaled. So by giving them over, you are complicit. You are part of it. But does he
I
make
gotta
up for
be honest. I don't know what David's done that's been so terrible. Like in the grand scheme of everything that's occurred in the Bible, what has he done? He's not like a maniac king who's like abusing his power.
Yeah, he's kind of, yeah.
He pissed Yahweh off.
Yeah.
But who hasn't pissed Yahweh off?
I mean, you're born like in sin, right? We haven't gotten to that yet, but you're born pissing him off. Damn, he's pissed off at you before he even meets you, man. Yo,
You know, the more I fucking think about
you're
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
the more I relate to him.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
You created the simulation,
Yeah.
which is the world we know. You created. God creates fucking worlds we know.
Yes.
And then and we're all born with fucking original sin, and you hate it. You
So
are
you're
God.
saying I'm God.
You're Yahweh. Yahweh is you.
Maybe I did create the simulation because I do like to hear that. Say that again?
I don't remember what I said. It was
I'm
12
God.
seconds ago. It'll be on the that section on the website.
It'll be on the previously on that you forget to write.
You see, here I am calling you God, and you got to take shots. You know, that's something Yahweh
That's
would
God,
fucking do.
right.
You're right. Ah.
I'm just reinforcing what you're saying.
Holy shit. Exploits of David's men. 2 Samuel 15. The Philistines went to war again with Israel. Again. And David went down together with his servants. See, that sounds like he got killed. Him and his servants got killed. That's just worded weird. They fought against the Philistines, and David grew weary. Ishbi-Benob, one of the descendants of the giants,
Told you.
whose spear weighed...
I'm sorry, hold on one second. I want you to take in that sentence for a second.
I think I did by going, whoa!
But really, let's explain it to the audience because
Don't
they're
fucking
idiots.
whoa, please me, man.
One of the descendants of the giants, right? How would there be descendants of giants if this is a world that has been started by Noah's family? there should not be any giants because God flooded the planet when there were giants, and the only things that survived were 2 of each animal that Noah brought on board his ark, his wife, his 3 sons, and their 3 wives. They're the people that repopulated the planet. So where the fuck are the giants coming from?
Maybe everybody's got a little dormant giant gene in them, and it came out again. You know, maybe Noah's family had a dormant giant gene. Okay. Or you can say conspiracy theories back then were like, really Noah's Ark, the flood. How do you explain that? That the giants are still there. But remember, maybe one of them was tall enough where he could still breathe.
I actually said that last
episode.
episode.
Yeah, you did. So
okay, fair enough.
And now you're saying it again this episode. You created that fucking situation.
Well, you're the one that said it this episode.
Ishbi Benab, one of the descendants of the giants, whose spear weighed 300 shekels of bronze and who was fitted out with new weapons, said he would kill David.
Wait a second. So this is like Goliath the sequel.
Yeah, Philistine. This is Drago's son. This is Drago's son coming. So the Philistines have they have a whole bevy of fucking giants, a whole fucking stable full.
Seems like it.
I mean, that's where you got to keep those people, right? Like a fucking stable. Filthy fucking animals. Yeah. But Abishai, son of Zeruiah, came to his aid and attacked the Philistine and killed him.
What? The big one? The giant one?
Yeah, that was super anticlimactic.
So they just introduced him. We had a huge conversation about him, and he's dead.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like he was all that.
Then David's men swore to him, just like the other giant was, man. This thing I didn't want. This is another giant that was forced into combat.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like these giants aren't really all that strong. It sounds like they have like some pituitary gland disorder. You know, they're probably like they can't move all that well. You know, like their joints are like overgrown. Like you've seen like the world's tallest man. Like he didn't seem like all that nimble and agile. Like if he had like a big like weapon in his hand, you could probably like you'd be way more agile than him, you know?
Yeah, you could run around him, but yeah. And he's probably leaning on that weapon. You could probably kick it out from under him and he falls over. Like it would take him like a long time to lift up like the weapon and then like bring it down. Yo, man. He's not a grower. He's just a shower.
Stupid.
So, yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't have faith in these giants, man. What they need is an Andre the Giant type giant. Like he could throw you around, for like 40 years. And he died real young, right?
Yeah.
All those people do.
Yeah, because he was also suffering from like gigantism or whatever.
So they kill him. Then David's men swore to him, "You shall not go out with us to battle any longer, so that you do not quench the lamp of Israel." Wait, what?
I feel like we did this already. They told him you can't come with us anymore.
You don't join the landing party. Yeah.
Yeah, we had this conversation.
So now, all of a sudden, I'm like somebody in Israel. I'm like, David don't seem that tough because the very next giant we encounter, these 2 guys whack him.
Whack him off.
All right. After this, a battle took place with the Philistines at Gob. Then Sibbecai, the Hushathite, killed Saph, who was one of the descendants of the giants. Oh, there's 3 giants down now. And it only took 4 people to kill 3 giants, so they're not that much better tougher than anybody.
Yeah, the giants in Game of Thrones were way cooler.
Yeah. Then there was another battle with the Philistines at Gob, and Elkanah, son of Jerarojim, the Bethlehemite, killed Goliath the Gittite, the shaft of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. So this is another Goliath.
Bro, I gotta tell you, I don't know what the fuck is happening right now.
Yo. The Philistines got a whole fucking slew of fucking giants, man.
This is like Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3,
3D,
Halloween 4, Halloween 5.
There was again war at Gath, where there was a man of great size who had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot.
Alien versus Predator.
24 in number. He too was descended from the giants. Duh. When he taunted Israel, Jonathan, son of David's brother Shammai, killed him. These 4 were descended from the giants in Gath. They fell by the hands of David and his servants. Lies, David wasn't there. They told him to stay back. So apparently whacking a giant ain't no thing, man.
So I would like to ask people in the audience that have some kind of religious background,
I thought you were going to ask who have 6 fingers and 6 toes.
When this episode gets posted, if you listen to this episode via like a podcast, please, like in the next few days after you listen, go to our YouTube page, look for the same episode. Can you please like post in the comments like, why are we reading about giants when there's supposed to have been a great flood killing all of the giants, but yet there are descendants of giants in a world repopulated by Noah's family?
I don't want to give them ideas, but obviously some giants survived, man.
But that's not. But isn't Yahweh like infallible?
No, it's the narrative they're feeding you, man.
It's bullshit, man.
Yeah.
He's fucking worse than Trump. He makes more mistakes than Trump. Trump makes less mistakes than Yahweh.
Trump makes no mistakes, man.
Ask anybody.
Ask anybody. All right. You want to pick up the next chapter?
I do not want to pick up the next chapter.
Do you want me to, or you think we just finished?
I think that we have 2 chapters left, and that will be the end of this book.
Hold on. Let's check that we really have 2 chapters left. Because you.
Me.
You don't think it's weird that we both made that mistake last week? I think I trusted you.
This
man.
is like some poem. The next chapter.
Yeah. So why don't you count again how many chapters are left?
Poem.
Why don't you count how many chapters are left?
2 chapters are left. Because the last chapter is called like the last words of David. So we've got that to
2 Samuel 22 is next. Then 23, then 24. That's 3 chapters are left.
What?
There's 3 chapters left.
Whatever.
There's 4 chapters left.
Wait, so we
24, 23.
No, we did
22.
20 and 21 today, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, so there's 3 chapters left.
So there's 22.
That's 1.
23.
That's 2.
And 24.
That's 3.
Damn, man. All right, so we're going to
You do maths like a dick.
We're going to finish definitely next time.
Yeah, keep promising.
Though.
Keep promising.
Nah, man. We're going to finish next time.
Yeah. So anyone that's made it this far, come a little farther, man. Come join us on Patreon where we finish the other article that you didn't hear us read because you're not a member of Patreon yet.
Yeah. I mean, we've said it all, Scott.
Yeah.
We've said it all.
There's not much left.
You want to say goodbye now?
Goodbye now.